Overhaul, baby.
All right, Pat Scraps versus the Bills. A look ahead to the Chargers. That's what we got here. Tale two halves. So Bobby and I had a wonderful interaction on Monday. We talked about this Patriots game. Ray, you couldn't make it?
Nope.
Okay. We discussed much of it. And honestly, a lot of it was a lot of repeat from all of our Monday breakdown shows. Snapshot with the Patriots recap is what that's called. Go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. But it does come back to coaching, even in a game that looked like the Patriots had a little bit of control over. Bobby was bamboozled with 14-0. He thought that the Patriots had a shot. I knew that the shot was 0%. Ray, you asked the question in our text chain, when do the real Patriots show up? About 5 minutes after you asked that question, they showed up with some silly turnover or bad play call or bad decision. So were you taken aback at least by the 14-0 score? Or were you ever fooled that they would make this a game?
No, never fooled, because, you know, this team is the Patriots this year. They are always constant losers. Basically, when they were up 14-0, I was trying to figure out ways, like, how are they going to fuck this game away? Because it was going to happen. Like, the Patriots are just notoriously, like, when we had Tom Brady, you knew that he was going to come back and win. When you have Jerod Mayo on the sidelines, how is this team going to fuck up and lose? And that's what I just kept thinking of. And, like, they're going to fucking piss this game away somehow, some way. And they did.
Yeah, and a lot of it goes to coaching decisions, to be honest. As you point here, Mayo once again sounds like an idiot on the podium saying he wanted to be aggressive in the game, and that's why they went for it on 4th and 2. But with the game on the line and 8 minutes left, they punted down 2 scores, which Bobby and I touched on Monday. The biggest takeaway for me, and really the biggest red sign or red flag or whatever you want to say about this team, is the Drake May running plays. That you came out of a week where the biggest story out of Foxborough was Jerod Mayo throwing his offensive coordinator under the bus for not calling a designed run for Drake May. And all of New England was talking about it, whether it should happen, whether it shouldn't happen. Alex Van Pelt's an idiot. Jerod Mayo puts his foot in his mouth. Whatever you want to say, the pressure was on the Patriots revolving around this issue of Drake May not having design runs, in which Alex Van Pelt had said multiple times this season they would not do that. They would not put their rookie quarterback in harm's way, especially with 3 games left in the season. And wouldn't you know it, first half, you get a Drake May run play. It's astonishing. I've never seen that. The public pressure having such an immediate impact in game. We saw it with the decision to start Drake May. They said they would not start him until he was ready. And then the Patriots lost a bunch of games in a row and looked like dog shit. And wouldn't you know it, Drake May was ready. We saw it with the Marcus Jones shit that Alex Van Pelt didn't know Marcus Jones was in the offense. The next week, he's got to play in the offense. Bubba, we said it, like, even if you think it's a good idea to have Drake May running it, you can't do that based on public pressure. And I laid out in the Simple Mind Sports, go to the blog, join the newsletter, in a blog in there, exactly what happened, quote for quote. Mayo and the Crafts had their weekly meeting. They asked about Drake May not running it. Mayo said, in his corporate shrill bullshit riding the fence, well, you know, I've always wanted to run Drake May. I think we should do it more often. And then the Crafts said, well, we give you permission to go tell Alex Van Pelt, offensive head coach, you should get Drake May into some running plays. And then Mayo summons Alex Van Pelt into his office. I'm sure he had his feet on his desk, eating a candy bar or whatever. And he said, you know, Alex, the Kraft said that you should run Drake. So you're going to run Drake. Daddy said so, bitch. And there you go. There you have it. It's dysfunction incarnated on the field week after week. It's ridiculous.
Anytime that a regime, a coaching staff takes suggestions from the media and then implements them, it is never a good thing. It is the sign of a weak coaching staff and a weak organization to give in to public pressure under any circumstance.
Well, you could also tell, I'm sorry, Rich, but you could also tell that, like, Mayo said this to the media because the announcers were like, graph was about, the most yards from scrimmage without a design running play, Drake May with 392. So it's like the media was fed into this bullshit, like, watch this, guys. We're going to have all these design run plays for Drake May this week. So why don't you guys just mention it through the program, because we're going to shock you guys with all these plays.
That's also a Kraft thing, who has his finger wrapped around the media for making that deal, 12 years ago. That's why you get shots of Krafts in the press box. How many NFL games do you see shots of NFL owners?
0.
Unless it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Very rarely do you see shots of NFL owners. Every single Patriots game, we see the Krafts. Every single game.
Very true.
So yeah, it's just a bad look, man. Like as soon as I saw that design run play from Drake Mayo, man, oh, for the fucking love of God. Like, way to ruin a good start, too. We were at 14-0, looked like they were on track, and fucking dime from Drake May to Booty on that touchdown pass.
Who you can't stop. You can't stop me.
Booty did put out a social media post after another loss. After another loss, Booty, that they can't stop him, although they stopped him. Basically, outside of that one fucking touchdown.
You lost.
You don't win after one touchdown. Keyshawn Booty. He should know that. He lost a lot of fucking bets at LSU. He lost a lot of bets. He should understand one touchdown does not get you a win. Very frustrating being a Patriots fan this time, unless you're Kendrick Bourne, who believes all is good in the world and Jerod Mayo is good, consistent, and growing.
What we see from Jerod?
I don't think he really shows his cards, and I love that. He doesn't seem phased, and I love that. He's the same person. He's consistent. When he comes to the team meetings, he's the same. He's approaching it the same, just very consistent. And when you have that, I think you start to see consistency on the field. So we're improving as a team. Our record doesn't show it, but we've improved through the year from where we rank and things like that. So I think that's how we got to approach it.
Have you seen him grow?
Yeah, absolutely, and I love that. So first year, I saw him talking on some interview, and you go through anything you do the first time is going to be hard. It's going to be struggle. So
first time I had sex with your mother, Rich, it wasn't a hard or a struggle.
No, that sucked, Ray. My private chat was much better than that. You didn't give me time to do that joke before you played the clip, but I won't repeat it here because the moment's gone. You should have done that before that. You should also let it Bobby talk because of the list of people hate, starting with Joe Mazzulla. If I hate Kyrie this much, Bobby hates Joe Mazzulla this much. Very close to the top of that list. Correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby, climbing rapidly is Kendrick Bourne.
Kendrick Bourne is a fucking asshole that should be cut immediately. He probably single-handedly lost the Bills game with him running the wrong route again. He runs the wrong route at least once a game. He's a professional football player that keeps getting on the field that can't do the one thing he's supposed to fucking do. He sucks.
I knew it. He hates Kendrick Bourne. And
he's
normally
terrible.
This kind of talk, out of a bad locker room, you'd be like, all right, well, at least they got this guy. But it's like, no, he's just so happy-go-lucky. He doesn't know how to fucking do anything.
We're even better at, rankings and stuff. No, you're not. You're last in everything. You suck.
They do suck, and he sucks too. $9 million a year they gave that guy for 3 years after he blew his ACL.
Great signing. That's what you need to get.
Fuck idiots down there. Yeah, internet. Let's keep Jerod Mayo around, and guys, and Elliot Wolf and the whole gang.
He's a DEI hire, from what I've heard from everyone.
Okay, well, why don't you flesh that out? Because you keep saying things without any context.
Apparently, everyone. So we posted a video about how we should fire Jerod Mayo, but I guess it's a PR move that you can't fire a black head coach because it's a diversity, equality head coach move. So therefore, Kraft has handcuffs and you can't fire him. Which I say, if you can't fucking coach, I don't care if you're green, black, blue, orange, white, whatever. If you can't coach, you can't coach. So fire the fucking guy.
Yeah, those commenters are just racist. They don't really actually understand what DI is or how it works.
Neither did I.
I will not put past the fact that it was a check of a box when the Crafts were deciding for Jerod Mayo to be their head coach and the NFL and the parameters around it, that Jerod Mayo was of African-American descent. That was in the good and bad column. Check. Good. No experience whatsoever. Probably doesn't have a clue what he's doing. That's check in the bad column. Super nice guy. Speaks
cool.
corporate bullshit. Has me wrapped around his finger. Got a group of kids to like him in Jerusalem. Check. You're in. Black. Check. In. Don't know how to coach football? Yeah.
We'll figure that out later.
We'll put that one in the bad column. But you know what? We believe in you, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't think that they will not make the decision because he's black. I don't think that will be a part of it whatsoever.
No, if you got a better coach, anyone can coach better than this guy. So if you have someone that's from fucking Mars that can coach better than this guy, they'll bring him in. That's just how the NFL works. If you have a bad product, no one's gonna want to watch. No one's gonna buy tickets to go to your game, even though it's raining and fucking Saturday and playing the Chargers in a game that you're probably gonna get your faces blown in. But yep, people are gonna go. So you have to have some sort of product.
Well, listen here, nobody circles the wagons like Jerod Mayo, okay? We talked about this before after the Jaguars game response, after that embarrassment against the Cardinals response. So I'm sure they'll have another resounding loss where they, fight real hard.
Well, they're playing against Jim Harbaugh and Coach of the Year candidate. So yeah, I think this will be a loss for them.
I think they'll lose the game as well.
You were looking squarely at another blowout. the response was the Bills game, but they lost.
Yeah.
I mean, the Cardinals game was a debauchery. It squarely put Jerod Mayo on the chopping block. And then they come back against the Bills. If that Bills game happened 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, wow. All right. Moral victory. We've got something going here. The offense looks like it's kind of clicking. We got to clean some shit up. But I think more and more people have come to our side of the fence here. No, we're too far into the season. We've seen this before as bullshit. You got through your scripted plays and then you fell apart because you don't know how to coach in game and you don't have control over your roster and you make the same stupid mental errors all the goddamn time. And yes, your roster sucks, but it doesn't suck that bad. Now you've cleared that. That might have been a win earlier in the season against a lesser opponent. Now you've got to go play another tough opponent in the Chargers. 14-point, 17-point win for the Chargers. I could totally see that coming. I'm having a hard time figuring out through lines to talk about this Patriots team and what to look for and what to look forward to. The only thing that revolving around this team that has to happen before we can start thinking about moving forward is the decision on Jerod Mayo or at least parts of his coaching staff. And so these weeks mean nothing anymore. To me, I don't know how much they can possibly mean to the Crafts. I guess if you get a win, like does a win against the Chargers change your opinion?
No.
The sample size is too big.
The biggest thing, sorry to interrupt you. Sorry to interrupt you, but like the Bills can't mathematically get any better than the 2 seed. They're probably going to rest all their players week 18. And if they go into and play that game and lose to all the backups of the Bills, that would be the biggest eye-opening thing for Kraft to be like, all right, here we go. You just lost to a fucking backups that were resting all their players because they knew they were in the playoffs, and we can't even do that. Like, that's going to be the eye-opening thing, I think, for Robert Kraft.
Yeah, I think a win against the Chargers would just simply say more about the Chargers, who need the game to get into the playoffs. I don't think it would say anything about the Patriots at this point.
They don't have a fucking chance against the Chargers.
I agree.
I hope that would open Kraft's eyes, but I don't know if that's the case. It feels like there's a decision that's already been made, and it feels like they are going to try and cut the baby in half. It feels like they're going to fire Alex Van Pelt and try to bring in an offensive coordinator, and not a lot of people are going to want to come here and be under Jerod Mayo, and this feels like a dysfunctional organization. They're going to try to run it back and appease the fans with a move like moving on from the offensive coordinator. Or they might not even do that. They might just add. What if they just go add a name? I can't even come up with one right now. But it feels like they've already succumbed to whatever decision was going to happen. And we had reports from like a Bedard that coming out of the bye week, they were going to look at the last 4 weeks, and that was going to really make a decision for them. You had a disastrous blowout against a Cardinals team. Then you had a competitive game against the Bills, which on paper looks good, but the Bills this time of year always blow a game like this. This was their trap game. They should have lost this game, and the Patriots lost it. They gave it away. They had it in their hands, and they gave it away because of the same nonsense that they have been dealing with all season long. From an outside perspective, if you were just looking at the football and making the decision purely on football, you fire everybody in that fucking building and you start from scratch. And the Crafts won't. They look at it as a business, and they have egos, and they have emotions. So
that's why I don't think they would fire everyone. I think Elliot Wolf will still have a job.
Well, that's what I mean. It's hard for me to wrap my finger on what will be interesting these last 2 weeks of the season.
You think that there's a chance that they keep Mayo but get rid of Wolf?
No.
Because they're actually invested in Mayo, but not so much in Wolf?
No.
I won't put it past them. Or Tom
Mayo's
Curran.
the anointed one. Wolf was just there.
I think no matter what, the coordinators are gone. I think they're going to be the scapegoats. Mayo will be back year 2, and he's going to be on the hot seat. Any blunder, or if they go back out and only win 3 or 4 games, then he's gone for 2026. That's what I think.
I think Wolf is a little bit unlikely just because they've probably been making plans with all their fucking money that they pretend to spend. But it may be. I mean, Tommy Curran has talked about a football czar, an overseer of all football, Bill Parcells-ish. I don't see that working. You have a divided front office between the coaches. They're not one staff. That's not how you fucking form a football team.
It's too many chefs. Too many chefs in the kitchen. You want one guy who's, I like what Belichick did. You were running the team, you were running the operations, you were coaching.
You don't even need one guy to do everything. Sorry to cut you off. You just
No.
need one guy. If you hire a Mike Vrabel, then he hires the personnel guy. If you hire an experienced GM, then he hires the coach. So they are all of one mind. The coach hires the offensive coordinator. They're all of one mind and moving in the right direction. The Patriots are scattered and they're all inexperienced and looking for their next job or trying to save their next job. So they're throwing each other under the bus. This was year one in the NFL. Unless your name is Urban Meyer, people don't get fired. Okay. And you don't see things fall apart. Year two, this could turn on its head 3 weeks into the season, and you will see people get fired. You will see people thrown under the bus. Players will quit. Year one, they're just working off adrenaline still and trying to make this work. Year two, all of the wheels will fucking fall off. All of the training wheels will fall off if they do not have a good start to the season.
Real quick,
I just what else to say.
I'm Jerod Mayo. I just fired you, Alex Van Pelt, and you, Covington. Would you want to come work for me? Because you know I'm on the hot seat, and like if I get fired, then that probably means you're out of a job too, and now you're looking at the next year to go find another new job somewhere else. Like, would you want to take that responsibility on?
If you're Mike McCarthy or Brian Daboll or somebody who has head coaching experience and has been fired and needs an offense coordinator job, and Drake May sitting there, and you have basically again full autonomy on offense, sure, you might be able to get a Mike McCarthy. Sure, I mean you'll get somebody. It's the NFL.
It's a better offensive coordinator job than it is defensive coordinator job.
Yeah, because you have Drake May, but you also have Christian Gonzalez on the defensive side of the ball that you can work around and scheme with. But I mean, you need a lot of help on the for front office when you come to the draft, when you come to the free agency. You need to add a lot of pieces, which I don't think they're going to be able to address, even though they're going to spend money. So I think it's just like one of those jobs where you're just like, it's a great opportunity. I can get my next step on the ladder, but no thanks. I'll try my luck somewhere else.
Would you, your point is basically, are they walking into a lame duck situation where they're moving across country to then have to move again? So, it would be something that the candidate would have to consider, and you might not get the best young talent at that point. You might be looking at retreads.
You're also looking at a possible early promotion. If you get off to if you're Mike McCarthy and you're a Patriots offense coordinator,
very true. If you're Daboll, then you might be the interim.
You blow out Mayo, and then boom, you're the interim coach with Drake May as your quarterback.
Well, that's a big roll of the dice right there. That's
not if you don't have any other fucking offers. There's only 32 of those jobs out there, baby, and there's only a couple openings every year, and people need to get paid. So that's why you always get retreads. That's why you always get. I think, Bobby, you've made this point more than I have. I think minimally you have to fire Alex Van Pelt because your offensive prospects with Drake May alone excels you beyond a number of teams that will be looking for offensive coaching help. Tenfold, you're probably the best destination for that type of position offensively in the league with Drake May and what he's shown. So I think you have to upgrade Alex Van Pelt because you will have suitors to fill that role. There may not be a ton of them, and I don't know all the names, but Daboll and Mike McCarthy come to mind if Mike McCarthy indeed gets fired. And they're not the greatest, but I just think that will be a role that can be filled. Defensively, probably not as much. And really, it's just splitting the baby. They should really just start from scratch, but they won't. I don't think they will.
I don't think they will either. I think it'll be a lot for us to talk about, but I just do not see them taking on full responsibility, taking it on the chin, saying, yeah, my bad. We fucked this. Let's do it again.
Yep.
Yeah, something that Vines said before, right there. Take it on the chin, just run it back.
Good try, baby. Quick break. Also, if you don't stop futzing with the shit on your goddamn desk, another desk, or whatever is in front of you.
It's not me. It's not me because I put my
absolutely you. You're the only one moving. You're
It is
fidgeting like a fucking 6-year-old with ADD. Like, just stop.
Quick break. Right back. Restless minds on display.
That's just short on me. Little Buffalo 42 in there right there if you want to go check that out, Spotify. Red Sox, as Ray writes, Red Sox hot stove is ice cold. I would disagree with that wholeheartedly. They have actually made moves.
Explain.
I will. The baseball offseason is a slow, painful slog. It has been that way for a very long time now. And I may be grading on a curve here, but considering how baseball works and how the Red Sox have worked recently, I would call this piping hot with what the Red Sox have pulled off here in the offseason. You've got the big sign and trades moves here. Aroldis Chapman was the first one. I get it. Woof, whatever. 1 year, 10.7. Then the Garrett Crochet trade, something that we have been asking for. Red Sox fans have been asking for a very long time, and they finally did it. And there may be reason to critique some of that, but I'm not going to sit here and do it. The deal by itself, good deal. The right deal. Good job. You've got a potential number one starter on your staff. That's what you needed. Well done. Garrett Crochet. And then they signed Patrick Sandoval, which was a stupid fucking deal.
Woof. That's what I'm talking about. Woof.
He's going to make, this is a Heim Bloom deal. You sign a guy off Tommy John surgery. Probably won't pitch at least till the middle of the season, probably before that or till after that. Won't be a valuable commodity until 2026. Very Liam Hendricks-ish. So, yeah, sure. We don't have to worry about 3 years. 2 years, 18.25 million. That's more than he would have got if they just cut him, which they were going to, and you sign him. So 5.08 ERA coming off injury. Not great. Got a good spin rate, though, Ray. Got a hell of a fucking spin rate. So, and then Walker Buehler. I've heard more Red Sox fans bitch about Walker Buehler, who they've been clamoring for years. They've been clamoring for this guy. Walker Buehler, a good youngest.
Where's Walker Buehler from, Bobby?
I have no idea.
Oh, give him his ass. That's an easy one. Walker Buehler, 21 million, 1 year, 1-6 last season with a 5.3 ERA, but had a excellent October in the playoffs in the Dodgers, where he came from, Bobby. LA Dodgers run to a World Series, and in the past has been an all-star and a sub-3 ERA guy, and has a ton of stuff, ton of potential. Again, another guy coming off ACL surgery, which is just rite of passage.
Tommy John.
MLB.
Tommy John's surgery.
What did I say?
ACL.
Sorry, Tommy John. Tommy John surgery, rite of passage in the MLB. Everybody has it, and then it takes you 2 years to get back to your normal self, or if you're Chris Sale, 5. Walker Buehler, nice addition for the Boston Red Sox. Number 2 starter.
It's a gamble, man. Is all they're doing is gambling. They're signing these guys that are coming off surgery. Walker Buehler had his worst season ever last year. I think he had a 5.64 ERA. It's just not what the Red Sox are notoriously doing. They're just, once again, rolling the dice and praying that they get a great hand from what they're signing, which, who knows? I don't think it's going to be a good sign.
Walker Buehler, that is not the case with Walker Buehler. Walker Buehler had a rough year, his first year off of Tommy John surgery. Traditionally, the second year after Tommy John, players have good years. Walker Buehler is a good signing. There's certainly risk. Any pitching signing in the MLB right now, in this day and age, is a risk. Really, it really is. I mean, Corbin Burns is out there. He's a 30-year-old pitcher. Yep, the Red Sox could have signed him. He's still not signed yet. They could have given him the bag. They don't want to do that. But
he has a great run against AL East opponents after pitching in Baltimore.
I would much rather have Corbin Burns than Walker Buehler. I will tell you that. I'm not sitting here saying that this is 100 out of 100 test for the Red Sox. What I'm telling you is, grading on a curve, it's the best offseason that he's had in 5 years, and you have to start understanding that we continue to apply pressure to the Red Sox to spend like a $5 billion organization, but they're not going to. Nope. All right. So we can have two conversations. We can talk about the actual deals and the actual players, in which these players are good. They make the team better. They address needs. They got a number 1 starter for their staff. They got a number 2 starter for the staff. They've made a number of smaller moves for their bullpen. They still have a right-handed bat, which they are in all of the rumors. Teoscar Hernandez looks like the Dodgers isn't going to work out. Red Sox are next in line. They will try to get it. Now, this is the other conversation we can have. So we like those players. We like those pitchers. But they only like them under their financial restraints. And that's where you can have the conversation about the Boston Red Sox still not doing enough. Corbin Burns should have been the guy. They had more than enough money to fucking give him, and they won't. Their philosophy is not to pay long-term contracts at big money, especially for pitchers.
After 30.
at least after 30. But I don't even know if that's the case anymore. We don't have enough sample size of younger prime players that they've gone after because baseball doesn't yet let young prime players make any money. You have to make your money after 30. So the interesting one to me will be this Teoscar Hernandez deal. So he wants 20 plus 24 or $5 million a year for a 3 to 6 year deal. Dodgers won't give it to him probably because they're paying $1 billion fucking in
Shohei Ohtani's and his gambling
deferred
debts.
money over the next 20 years or whatever. So they're not going to give Teoscar Hernandez money. Okay, so what do the Red Sox get him at? Do the Red Sox pony up that 24 a year or 21 a year? Do they go to the 5-year deal or do they get him at their deal? Do they get him?
He's 32 years old, so I think they want to get him at their deal because he's 32 years old.
So don't be surprised if Teoscar Hernandez signs the $24 million a year 1-year deal with the Boston Red Sox, similar to Walker Buehler. Those are the type of deals that they're looking for. And we can argue whether that's right or wrong. That's a hard way to build a championship team. Unless your kids are as good as you think they are and you can build around them. And P.S. don't tell them, but you're going to have to pay those fucking kids too at some point. Yes, we can pick apart the financial philosophy of this team till the cows come home. Certainly, they deserve it. They're not spending enough money. But in terms of the moves that they've made, that Craig Breslow has made, we got to start giving me a little more credit. I don't know what you can be mad about. They also got the Moran kid from the Twins for Mickey Gasper in a trade to add to their bullpen. So they've made.
You're just gonna have to see. It's one of those things you have to wait till the end of June to be like, all right, Breslow did a great job. Like that's the only thing because you are risking everything with all these guys coming over here and thinking like they're gonna pan out in the AL East. Where Boston is a market where if you're
that's not
producing,
fair. You have to assess the deals in real time. Garrett Crochet deal is a really good deal in real time. They gave up a top prospect in Kyle Teal, and that's about it. So that's a great deal for the Red Sox. They wanted
but if Kyle Teal turns out to be a great catcher, then everyone's going to backlash and be like, all right, well, Crochet's not a fucking Cy Young pitcher. We could have had Teal as a backbone of this team.
I don't think that's a fair way to assess a deal in the moment. Like, yes, it's a risk. All deals are risks. If you trade, you run risks with any business deal. That's the fucking part of it. All right. In the moment, you have a need. You have a need for a bona fide number one starter. You don't need a catcher. Good hitting catchers are hard to come by in the MLB, but they also don't last very long at the catching position. So, and you have one in Connor Wong. He's already on your goddamn roster.
Yeah, but you also have Jerky McGee over there, Jerky Reese, that's going to probably go into a parking lot and relapse and jerk off into a parking lot.
He's gone. He's been off the roster since middle of last season, Ray, so that's fine.
You're welcome.
We're from
hey, at least I fucking remember him. Fuck you, Bobby.
Yep, there you go. So all in all, this is, again, an ode to the Red Sox. We can still be mad at them. Be mad at John Henry in the Fenway Group for their mid-market bullshit in Liverpool, in Boston, and in Pittsburgh, and soon to be in Las Vegas with their NBA team, only spending minimal amount of money when they could spend more. But I wouldn't be mad at Craig Breslow this offseason. This is the best offseason they've had in 5 years. They will be a better team in 2024 than they were in 2023 because of the deals that they've made, and I fully anticipate a right-handed bat coming to this roster before the season's up. Before the offseason.
Third place in the AL East is really good, right, Rich?
Well, you're being a real prick tonight. Quick break when we'll put Bobby in the penalty box. Restless mind. Here we go.
Bitch tits.
I've quite literally put Bobby in the penalty box. I've taken him off the screen. As we talk Bruins. Bruins are 19-13-4 with 42 points, 4 back of the first place Florida Panthers. Did he leave?
Yep.
We'll see if he comes back. Jonas Corposalo is the nice looking room, though. Nice looking room.
Look at that fucking closet door. You think that's where his furnace is?
No, I think that's where he hides his children in the Diddy Beyonce children ring.
Watch how this fucking homo drinks water.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's awkward.
Oh, he didn't do it.
It's awkward. Oh, yeah, you can. We'll do this quickly. The Bruins have been a tough watch this season, frankly. As you put here, they're playing better in front of Korpisalo. 7-3-1 record, 2.42 goals against. Swayman wanted to set the market, went to business school, and got his $8.7 million, 12-10-4 with 3.04 goals against. You ask, should they trade Swayman before the deadline? My answer to that is no. They're selling low on a low player with a high upside and at least 2 more years of control before his no trade kicks in. So I'm not moving on from Swayman, but internally, if Sacco had any balls, he'd make him his backup. He would certainly make him his backup and see what you can do to get this team moving anymore. But to your greater point, and this is a good one, I said a long time ago, this team needed a shakeup, a real shakeup, a big one. Move some of these players off your fucking team. It won't be Swayman, but I will give you Brandon Carlo as a place you can start, or the newly added Zadorov. Defense, you are loaded. There's a ton of money in defense. If you want to talk to me about moving McAvoy, I am all ears if you can get a haul for him. If you can get first-round picks and high-end prospects and a top six winger or centerman forward, let's talk. Same with David Pastrnak. I got so much heat on your famed internet streets this year, Raymond, for talking about David Pastrnak not being the player that everybody thinks he is and basically being a bum when it matters most. And wouldn't you know it? What a season this guy's having without any actual talent, without any elite talent, a Patrice Bergeron Hall of Famer or a Martian and a Prime Hall of Famer, literally called the perfection line. And the guy that's soaking up all the goddamn glory, David Pastrnak, when he doesn't have the perfection line, just becomes something else. Left last week with an injury, upper body injury that he said he's been battling all season long. Okay. Whether that's a true thing or an excuse, either way, he's not producing. He's not producing as a top 5 right winger paid in the NHL. So you want to talk about trading him? You want to talk about Carlo? You want to talk about Marchand? Let's do it. Let's make some real fucking moves here, Bruins, because you're treading water at best, and your top 5 market-setting goalie who went to business school isn't doing what he's supposed to do. Your defense isn't doing what they're supposed to do. So it's time to pony up and start making a real pivot towards the next generation of the Boston Bruins. You're just not going to do that. You're just not going to do that with the moves that Swayman has made this year. And I don't blame Swayman, honestly. Outside of the Swayman thing, he fucked up the Swayman thing.
How many, when you go to the Forbes 500, do you see in business school, University of Maine?
Very rarely. University of Maine is where Jeremy Swayman went and said he went to business school. Here I am again explaining Ray's joke out of context. So
I thought it was a great joke.
It was a pretty good joke. There you have it. Long season to go for the Boston Bruins. Always still in playoff contention. Anything can happen, I guess.
Second round exit, no matter what.
Oh, first. I mean, first.
Ooh, first, really?
Yeah. I don't have the forward play, man. I told you at the beginning of the season, all the moves they made. Look at that top 6. It's atrocious. It's atrocious. Elias Lindholm finally showed up, but even him is...
It took him a while, though. I mean, that was their bank to be the centerpiece for Pastrnak, and he hasn't come through at all.
They don't have any scoring, right? They don't have any scoring. Who's scoring? David Pastrnak is out to lunch. Outside of that, they have no bona fide scorer on that team. They don't. They have nobody. It was a massive, massive miscalculation by Sweeney in that department. Said it at the top. Said you shouldn't pay Swayman that. Said you need to make a big, big, massive trade to swing this franchise in a different direction and pivot. We'll see if they listen to the show. You better. I hope so.